see that people are starting online, and as they get closer and closer to making the decision and making the final purchase, choice, they're moving more and more into the dealership. So it reinforces this paradigm of going from online to the dealership. Then, this supports the previous slide, we then asked, well, how is the internet really playing an important role for various aspects of your personal decision? 85%, on a 5-point scale, 85% of the respondents said that the internet was important, a 4 or 5 score, for establishing whether the particular make meets their requirements, what's necessary for that. 47% said that was a very important channel for helping them decide. General information, again, it goes down the path through starting their research, beginning that purchase process, and moving through. The internet is more important at the beginning, and then the trade-off happens into the dealership. The other thing that I believe we should take away from this slide is that helping you get the best deal is not a relative important need that people are going to the internet to find. So this is not a price-sensitive decision that they're making. It's much more about the features and the specifications of the car. Now this is the purchase funnel, and we see this again clearly here, that the internet is the place that they start, and as they move through the purchase decision, they're becoming more interested in going into the auto dealerships, and you see that clearly at the top bar. The auto dealerships increase in importance as people move through the purchase decision. But we see that dealer websites, manufacturer websites, search engines, auto sale websites, all of these online sources are really trumping TV ads, car magazines, local newspapers, and a lot of the other traditional media that we are presenting auto opportunities in. So let's jump into first manufacturer websites, and then we'll go into search engines. What are people using manufacturer websites for? They are frequently learning more about the make and the model. They're configuring various options on cars for their needs. They're reading reviews. They are comparing specs, using it for a lot of informational interests that they need to make this decision, buying accessories. This is what actually, to me, is most surprising, and we see this again emerging as a very important source throughout this study, throughout the markets, and that's online video. 4 in 10 people are actually going to manufacturer sites to watch videos. Now these are commercials that are just reproduced online. They're also more in-depth performance videos that manufacturers are creating off manufacturer websites. They're also using YouTube and looking at user-generated videos as well, but they're not as important as manufacturer-produced videos. But this trend is rapidly increasing. With regard to the financial aspects, they are going to obtain quotes and find out about financing options. Arranging lease agreements is also something which they're looking to, but applying for financing. And then the way that the manufacturer websites are supporting dealerships, they are going to manufacturer sites to locate showrooms, booking test drives. Alfonso was mentioning how important that is, and contacting dealers. So the manufacturers really, in their websites, need to look to support their dealers as well, with clear, cogent presentation of the information that people are looking for, such as this. Now, it's not all good news here. manufacturer websites actually do not fare well in Mexico. About 48% of respondents did not use a manufacturer website because of a previous experience that was unsatisfactory. Long load times, poorly arranged information, many unsatisfying aspects there. So I certainly believe that manufacturers can do a better job at presenting the information that's important to these consumers. Search engines. Search engines are a really interesting online source. They play a dual role. They're both a source of information and they're also a gateway to information that's available online. To dealer websites, to third-party review sites, to the variety of online sources that are having an impact. Now, of the 70% of the population that's using the internet for research, 86% are using websites as either a gateway to other information online or as a source for that information through the website itself. And 63% find that search engines are very important, are important to the process of considering purchasing a car. And in Mexico, we see that Google is used by virtually everybody. Out in front of Yahoo and MSN considerably. Now, as far as the gateway is concerned, another difficult slide, but let's walk through it. It's pretty important here. The gray bars are the percent of people who actually go to these different sites, online sources, by typing in the website URL directly, Volkswagen.com, Ford.com, or the local version of that URL. The green bars are how many people are using search engines. They go to Google and they type in Ford. They go to Google and they type in Ford dealerships in Mexico City, middle side of town. The lighter gray are bookmarks for these various sites. You don't see that too much in this vertical, but we do in other verticals more around entertainment and media. And then finally, follow links from other sources, whether it's an online ad embedded in the content network or other ad networks out there. Search engines are dominating the way that people are actually going to these sources. More than half to 80% are actually going to these. And these are they're having influence. All of these sources are adding up to a significant influence on these individuals. So what are people searching on? People are searching on makes and brands. Ford, Ford Escort. They're searching on dealers. They're searching on the types of cars, and they're also using generic search terms like family car, new car, economy car, and also offers. Now, in today's world, which is in transition, we're seeing that performance of advertising is much more critical than it has been in the past. It's much more about seeing the performance of that brand response campaign or that direct response campaign. And when you are advertising online, it's certainly easier to understand what the return on the investment is for the performance when you're looking at keyword purchases and buying on display ads online, seeing click-through rates. Now, of the people who say Google is the most helpful search engine, which 87% of search engine users said they find it the most helpful, we wanted to ask them, how was it most helpful to you? And 86% said that Google aided comparisons across makes and models. They're it's helping people inform their decisions. It's enabling discovery of relevant sites and discovery of new models, makes and brands. It's playing a really important role for 70% of the online population that's using search the internet to help them decide on cars. So in summary, let's roll through this the purchase cycle again. There are a lot of different trigger points, mostly personal, less budget-oriented. And prior to beginning their active search, they've refined their decision down to a consideration set of a few brands and models. The internet is the first source for information and also a very influential source along with dealerships for making their purchase decision. I would say that all other media, including in-person word of mouth opportunities, fall off the cliff compared to this too. The internet and dealerships are very influential through that process. And online, there are a lot of different sources that together create a really important and impactful impression on the way people are deciding on the cars that they're purchasing. And Google is by far the most used and most helpful search engine. Virtually all are using Google as their search engine of choice, 83% of the population. And they're using it for both the source and the gateway. So they're looking at it for both the organic search results as well as the sponsored links that are available on the search engine. And then the final purchase. This online research is really, it's the driving force into dealerships and into that physical relationship with their salespeople who need to be educated, who need to have the resources available to them to close that deal. But people are coming in with their attitudes quite well founded by the research that they're doing initially online that's available to them at their fingertips 24 hours a day. So what are some of the topics that we didn't discuss today? We have a number of them. Many are the role of online videos, ads, and user-generated content. And I'm sorry, but I did not, there's a typo here because these three are really summarized in one. It's really online videos, advertising recall. 7 out of 10 people recall actually seeing ads online, and about 35–40% are actually clicking through on ads. The role of user-generated content with videos, with reviews, with opinion pieces, blogging. Auto enthusiasts and internet use. So we're actually finding that the influencers, the people who actually think of their cars as something more than just getting them from A to B, but actually stay up to date with the latest technology and the latest offers from auto manufacturers, have higher internet use and are more comfortable using the internet, use more sources for finding information. The purchase cycle, Alfonso discussed this a little bit, which was that people are spending on average 11 days to make their purchase decision, and slightly more than 80% are making a purchase decision within the month. And then finally, auto brands considered and purchased. So we look at major auto brands and understand which ones are being considered more but purchased less, or vice versa. And with that, I'd like to say thank you. It's been a pleasure to present these findings. I think that we